Yo, yo. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. I am noticing, I want to pull up the open interest here. Ugh, it's doing that stupid thing again. Hold on, then. Let me get rid of TradingView then, real quick. I took a setup last night on an eval account. Um, Really good looking IFVG. Bro, I have 4 indicators on my screen. Why is it doing this? Okay, open interest on NQH is 107,000. And then open interest on NQM is 193. Okay, guys, so I am switching over. Yo, okay, good morning, brother. So this indicator again, guys, I don't know if I've shown you this before, but it's called open interest. And you can see here that the open interest on NQM, which is the June contract, is now much greater um, than the open interest on NQH, which is what we were using previously. So 107. So I'm officially switching to NQM, but what I want to do here is include, and again, guys, I'm not taking any trades, real trades today because, until FOMC, because we have FOMC later. But pretty decent looking 1 minute fair value gap here that closed above. Stop to break even here. I don't know where you would target. There are equal highs above us. Let me see what they are though. But the equal highs are all the way up here. So let me just go over. If we go to the NQM chart, it was the May 18th, 831 candles where the equal highs formed. So let's do NQM 2025, and then let's go over to the 830 candles. Right here is where the equal highs formed. Just check something quick. Okay, I'll just label this as the equal high right here. Even though it's not, but that's where they are on NQH. So they are important nonetheless. And yeah, I don't know where the other ones are. Let me check quick. God, they go way back to the 10th of March at 5:55 or 5:45. 10th of March. See how the volume like dries up? The 10th. I think they're right here. No. Something along these lines right here is where the equal highs are. Yo, Charlie, good morning. Sorry, guys, I'm not looking at the chart right now. Just give me a second. All right, so I have basically labeled where the equal highs are. Now, you have to realize, guys, we have equal highs in a lot of other spots too up here, but I'll probably draw those in later, but it's super hard to do this, right? But I will always keep track of this chart. I'll keep it on my screen so that we see where the equal highs are generally. But we have officially moved onto the NQM contract. The open interest is officially higher, so it makes more sense to do so. But what did I take last night First of all, let me put up my indicators here. So I took the 10-minute IFEG that formed in the Asia session right here. This one right here. I took this and I held up to this hourly buy side. I only took it with a 1 micro contract, but it ended up being $145. So that was pretty good. This setup right here. We were bouncing out of this PD array, and we had already swept a bunch of lows. And yeah, I thought it was good enough to take. So that's what I took in the Asia session yesterday. But that's pretty much it for now, guys. And I will be waiting to take a setup when FOMC starts. At 1:45 Eastern. So we do have a new week opening gap right above us. Is it the same on NQH? Hold on, guys. Let me just check. It's not going to be the same, but the new week opening gap is much bigger actually on NQM, which is fine. But I am not going to be trusting anything, guys. This looked pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. We didn't really sweep liquidity here to the downside, but this looked pretty good. So my objectives for today, I think what's going to happen is that the FOMC meeting is going to sweep these highs. After it sweeps the highs, what happens afterwards, who knows? But probably going higher and taking out the new week opening gap above. So my objective today is still bullish. As far as like higher time frame level, so what I'm seeing here, this kind of looks like a bear flag on the hourly. So a lot of people are expecting this to just kind of chop like this and then dump. And I think these markets are crazy, and my thesis is that we're just going to completely close this whole bear flag and this whole fair value gap and go all the way back up to buy side here. So this is another objective right here, labeled in black because they're not equal highs. And then I'll label these highs right here. I think these are another objective today. And then of course, ultimately this new week opening gap and the equal highs right below it. So, excuse me. That's my objective for today. And yeah, so I don't know what we're going to get. I mean, I'll call setups that I see here, but realistically, I'm not taking anything until FOMC because if you guys didn't know, FOMC is a very powerful event in the markets. It moves the markets heavily most of the time, and everything before FOMC is typically manipulation designed to generate liquidity in the markets. So just a forewarning. Did anybody else take the IFEG in the Asia session right here? Anyone else take this with me? I told you guys I normally don't call out Asia session plays, but I only took it with a 1 micro. But it ended up, like I said, it ended up being $145 per contract. So I would not be surprised if this ends up pushing to the new week opening gap here. Okay, you're sleeping in the Asia session? For me, it occurred around, what was it? Around like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So there is a possibility that we end up sweeping these equal highs before FOMC begins. But realistically, the only way that I would really be holding this is if I somehow took this IFEG right here. And then, yeah, this would be your stop to break even on your entry. I would definitely partial though, because the odds of us having a complete continuation move before FOMC is small. I wouldn't say it's slim, but it's definitely not very likely. I want to look at the rest of the market quick and see what everything is doing. Shopify's up. Ooh, Boeing's up 5%. Remember I called the daily fair value gap yesterday, guys, on Boeing, and we've had a 5% day. My objective for Boeing is 196 and then 214. So I don't know how and when it's going to get there, but I think it should. Wow, Tesla's up 2%. Awesome. Intel down 5%. VIX is down 3%. Ulta Beauty down. Interesting. AMD down. Nike down. I need Nike to hold below $80 so I can get my covered calls sold at 100% profit. The thing is, we have Nike earnings the day before my covered calls expire worthless, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, Charlie. I'll see you later on, my brother. All right. So the stock that we added yesterday is officially up and green. Okay, this is going to hit the new week opening gap. How's ES performing? Ooh. I think ES is behaving even stronger than in Q. I'm going to change this contract to ESM because we're rolling that as well. New week opening gaps are in completely different spots on these two. Interesting. Okay, there's a new week opening gap. And from here, I mean, guys, we could push all the way to these equal highs before the FOMC setup. Maybe we can try something with a micro because there is a lot of relative strength right now. So we'll see if something really, really good presents itself. Normally, I don't see this happening, I will be honest. Normally, we don't see immediate pumps from open. But in the rare case that we do, a lot of the times there actually is continuation in the afternoon session. Wow. So I would not be surprised, guys, to see a bullish AM and PM session today. I'm just looking back at some previous FOMCs. And normally when we have an immediate bullish reaction in the morning, it continues. Yeah, wow. Very interesting. So yeah, just a heads up, guys. Um, Normally when we have a bullish PA in the morning like this for FOMC, it normally continues into the afternoon session. Um, so maybe we'll look for a continuation setup now in the AM session, and then just not take something during the or maybe we will just take it small. Hey Robert, good morning, brother. Maybe we'll take it small, like a micro or two on funded and maybe on evals too to the equal highs, and then if I get a better setup in the afternoon session during FOMC, I'll take it with a little bit bigger size. Just want to check one thing here. Robert, I don't trade well on slow grind up. Hard for me to hold positions. Well, the best moves come from slow grinds up. Slow grinds up. The best moves come from slow grinds up. And the fast grinds up normally end up being manipulations, and you end up losing your ass. So just keep that in mind. I'm always far more hesitant to long markets where we have extremely fast reactions to the upside. You guys have to understand these market makers and these algorithms are designed to generate FOMO, and they need exit liquidity. So when they induce traders with these big green moves up that are super fast, 90% of the time, I wouldn't say 90, but a lot of the time, those end up being fake moves. They are inducing people to go long, and then they use your money. Your buys are their sells. So remember, for every buyer, there's a seller in the markets, if you believe in that auction theory or whatever you want to call it. And so for big money to be selling out their positions, they need somebody to buy all of their positions from them, right? And the same thing when everyone is bearish and they think the end of the world is coming, there's a need for sellers in the market for big money to buy up contracts or shares. That's how liquidity is generated in the markets. So anyways, this was a pretty good setup, I'm not going to lie, but however, it was right at market open or very close, and it's the day of FOMC, so this is very tough to take, but nonetheless, it was good. And you can see that the stop to break even or the first TP was at this high and it's grinding up. We have equal highs and buy side liquidity above us, so this is my objective for today. Normally, like I just said, I'm looking at previous FOMC days. If we have an immediate grind up in the morning on FOMC, typically we see continuation either in the morning session or for FOMC ends up being bullish. It is a very unique time in the markets, right? We have Trump and his whole tariff situation, and the markets have been super tough since he's become president. But nonetheless, I think there will still be a pretty good continuation trade at minimum to the equal highs that we have above here. So we already hit another set of equal highs yesterday that came from this area right here. Not yesterday, from Monday. And yeah, there's another set that formed here, and then we have another set higher at this internal buy side right there. So we'll see what we get. Yeah, of course. So if we get some kind of a manipulation down and then an IFVG, we can take it up to these equal highs. I do have the 30-second and the 15-second posted up from Top Step. I showed you guys, but there's a lot more people now. But I took this 1 minute IFVG in the Asia session and I held it up to the internal high on the hourly. So I booked $145 per contract on that, which was really nice. Has anybody taken any trades yet? Tesla with a 3% move, okay. Don't think that's really significant at all, but Riot up 4%, okay. I think we're gonna have a decently strong buy day today, if I had to guess. But again, that's not an excuse to take a trade. But I think again, there's gonna be some higher objectives that are gonna be swept today. Excuse me. Hmm. Tristan. You see the guy that got kicked off Top Step for trading 15 cons with no stop loss on a live account? No, I didn't see that. What, did he go crazy or something? Let's see what Top Step TV is saying right now.
Yes, MES switcheroo, but we scratched it.
All right. Okay. We've all done that, Jack.
I did that the other day. I was trying to trade 5 MNQ and I traded 5 NQ, and just hit
it's hard. It's hard when you're focusing on some other things, and it automatically. I think you should always reset your clip size. I'll talk to Top Step back.
Reset your clip size. What's he talking about clips for, bro? We're not at a shooting range. Poor guy. Okay, a set of equal highs just formed here. Perfect equal highs. Rose up 46 beans. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, so we have another set of equal highs here. Again, guys, I'm really going to be super patient today. Because today is FOMC, I'm probably not going to take anything. If we get something really good, then I'll try and do a small trade up to the equal highs here and maybe the buy side. Because there is a potential that we get them before FOMC. But realistically, I'm not going to take anything, especially not with large size, until the move at 1:45 or at 2 o'clock. And the way FOMC works normally, guys, from 2 to 2:30, there's a fake move, and then from 2:30 onwards is a real move. So just be patient. I will be live streaming, but not on YouTube. I'll be live streaming in the Discord. So for those of you who are in the Discord, you will have access at 1:45. Just make sure you're in the live stream tab. We do have an order block here on the 1. We have a bullish 5-minute fair value gap right here that I think we'll probably trade into here. This is starting to look like a bull flag, which tells me that it's probably going to fail. So I think this low is coming right here, right now, to fill the 5-minute gap. But we will see if I'm correct or not. Maybe they sweep the equal highs first and then they take it out. I don't know. But objectively, I think, again, this 5-minute fair value gap should be balanced, so it'll probably happen soon. Maybe after these are swept and then we get a dump. Robert keeps taking me out. My stops are tight because of trailing drawdown, so I'm pretend risking only 30%. Trying to keep it low, but I keep getting paper cuts. Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, there's no setups here at all, so I don't know what you're trading, but okay, so there's the equal highs. And maybe now we get the drawdown, we'll see. So I'm thinking that this low is going to get swept now. Again, guys, there's no setups here. I'm literally just pointing out where I think the market will probably go. But we are holding a new week opening gap, and I told you guys that we will probably have continuation here, so I don't know if this will end up delivering all the way down, but we'll see. So it's coming down probably to take out these two lows, stop people out who are long on this leg of price. But does everyone understand why I'm not looking to trade with full size or honestly take anything in this general time in the market? Type 2 if you don't understand. If you're confused as to why I'm not trading right now, let me know. But I hope everybody understands why this is not an ideal time to trade. If you guys remember too, yesterday, I told you guys that that day was very likely to be choppy and that we're not going to get anything. And look what happened the whole day. Imagine trying to trade this. I bet you people lost their butts trying to trade this. Okay, Kay understands. I bet you people lost. I mean, there's probably people, even funded traders, that lost tons of accounts. People with cash accounts that lost their asses on this day. And the reason being, again, we had a huge move the day before. Look at this. Massive move up. Asia and London session, also big moves. And then we had a 300, almost 400 point dump. And then we just started consolidating, right? So as soon as this happened in the morning session and the pre-market, from London onwards, I told you guys that we have distribution legs, and then we have consolidation, and then we have manipulation, and then continuation. So everything here is just shitty. And then today we have FOMC at 2 o'clock, right? So 2 Eastern is the reason that we're not looking for trades here. But you can see here we just swept the lows that I told you guys about after sweeping the equal highs, and we're probably going to rebalance this 5-minute fair value gap. Amazing day. It is an amazing day. It's always an amazing day. Okay, there's the 5-minute fair value gap that just rebalanced. Like I said, now we have an excuse to go higher if we're going to today before FOMC. But again, unless something A+ presents itself, I'm not going to be taking anything, and it will likely be with just micro contracts to the equal highs. Took too long MNQ from 19777. Ooh. Did you take the IFEG, Jose, or what was the setup for you? 19777 was right before the IFEG closed on the 1 minute. The 2 minute also closed above. There was no 5 minute. There was no 3 minute. Do 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 do. So you front run the 1 minute IFEG. Where are all those wicks at? Which wicks? Look at the 1:36 a.m. candle. Oh, you took this 1 minute short? The reason I don't like this is because there's no liquidity sweep and we have LRLR above us. Also, we never got the full 1 minute inversion. There maybe was an SMT, but the inversion, we never closed below the full inversion. So this is a tough trade to take. But yeah, I mean, it looks decent, but tough to take for sure. Okay, so let Let me look at the 15 quick here. Yeah, so like I said to you guys earlier, right? I said this looked like a bear flag, but because of how ridiculous the markets are and how they like to smoke retail traders who trade bear flags, I told you this is probably going to close all the way up, and we have almost fully filled. We do have another set of buy side up here that I think we'll target, and then the equal highs I think will come next today. So we'll see what happens, but again, unless we get something A plus, I'm not going to be taking it. And I will be live streaming in the Discord, guys, for FOMC, and that live stream will start at 1:45. I will not be live streaming that on YouTube, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yo, for those of you who are in the Discord, did anyone else add that stock that I bought yesterday? Because we're already up on it. A whopping 1.25%. But regardless, green is green, right? I don't think anybody else bought that I know of, because most of them that are in there are day traders. But for those of you guys who want long-term positions, I've actually added 2 stocks recently. Okay, so this is probably going to continue down here. I don't know if this order block will even hold, but you can target the order blocks low. It's a bullish OB, right? So in theory, we should come down and test it. Way too disgusting today. I don't think today's PA was disgusting at all so far. I think it looks pretty good. Everything I've said was happening is happening. We filled the 5-minute fair value gap. We're testing the 5-minute OB / 1 minute. You see how we tapped into it? And yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. So many wicks. This is definitely not more wicky than the average day. Every day has wicks. Every candle has wicks. This is bad PA. Right here. This is really bad PA. And you can see like these wicks are massive. So like this is what I don't like to see. But again, we knew that was going to happen to a high degree of certainty. Not exactly. No one knows for sure, but... God, my nose is so itchy, bro. So this is like a bull flag that John Wicks is after Robert. John Wick. So again, you guys can see here, if you want this indicator on your charts, this is super important. This is called the new week opening gap. Every Friday when the market closes, and the difference between the market close on Friday and the market open on Sunday creates this gap that you see here. So this is it right here. Right, we closed the market on Friday at 16 or 1700 or whatever they put it as. And then the difference between where we closed on Friday and where we open on Sunday forms this gap, and it acts as a magnet for price. It also acts as support and resistance. So if we close above it and then close back down, we normally use it as support to go higher, which you can see happened on Monday. Then we use it again as support to go higher. But typically it's just a magnet for price. I don't really use it as support resistance, but you can use it as a target. So remember earlier today, I told you guys I thought that this new week opening gap was going to hit today. And then this is your setup right here to the new week opening gap. So again, I would never take this because it's, well, I would take it with a micro if I was on screen, most likely, but with full size on a funded or cash account, no. I only wait, I take trades during FOMC. That's it on this type of day. But we are forming kind of like that low resistance liquidity, right, called LRLR. So this tends to be run and should be run eventually today. Maybe they save it for FOMC, we'll see. It's been tough for me. The new week opening gap has its liquidity and seeking pressure there. I don't think the order block is holding bullish and the wicks are killing me. Yeah, I just don't know what setup you're taking, Robert. That's my question. Also, are you scalping, Robert, while you're at work on your phone? So I'm gonna put a little magnet here for you guys. This is my objective today. Savage, bro. So my objective is the perfect equal highs here at 19,967.50. So there is a possibility. Wow, I have to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry, Robert, if that broke your eardrums or anyone else that's using headphones. But so either we get this before FOMC or we get it during. I prefer that we get it during FOMC. I think that'll give us a better run up to here. But there is a possibility that we get it during this AM session. So we'll see what happens. But again, I will only take something if it's A+. I don't see any IFVGs in this leg of price. I'm guessing all of these up moves and this, what you want to call a bull flag, is just generating liquidity to try and get people out of the trades. And probably this low will come today before this high gets hit. If that hits, you have to do a clickbait short with the magnet. Yeah, maybe. I'm not gambling. I'm very bearish overall because I tend... That's how all gamblers start. I'm not gambling. I'm very bearish overall because I tend to short the markets in my style. It's easier to see shorts instead of buys, but I'm learning what to include into my plan. So one thing I will tell you, Robert, and I've told this to many times on stream, but 75% of the time the markets are bullish. So if your primary trading strategy involves shorts, you are putting yourself at an extreme disadvantage. But trying to short this leg of price right here, I would say, is gambling. I did take a couple of scalps here on an eval to this order block and to this 5-minute fair value gap. 3 trades, 1 stop out, and 2 profit. But again, it's only on an eval and it's taking 1 micro. So nothing on a funded account, nothing on a cash account. I think that's dumb to take. But I will admit to you guys that that is gambling. I mean, but objectively, when we hit a new week opening gap, we are likely to have selling pressure normally. But if we have higher targets and we're super bullish on the day, then this is going to be fake pullbacks. But again, nothing here is A+. Nothing is something you should be risking money with a real account, in my opinion. This is all just dumb. Yeah, I don't I don't read price as buyers coming in. I've told you guys, I mean, listen, the markets do require buyers and sellers to move, right? Liquidity is real. But I think intraday, the markets run fully on an algorithm, and it doesn't matter who's buying or who's selling. The market just does what it needs to do to deliver price where it needs to go. So, like when people, I've seen a lot of traders, they say, like, oh, these candles represent buying pressure. The buyers are stepping in. When in reality, this is probably purely algorithmic. I know that's hard to believe, but I'm telling you. I don't like opening up my stop loss. It freaks me out in drawdown. Yeah, so see, the language you're using, Robert, tells me that you're probably not ready to be trading in a live account. Like, when you say it freaks you out to open up your stop loss. If something is freaking you out, there's one of two things that's happening. Number one, you're trading with too big of a size. Number two, you don't have enough experience with your model where you don't know whether or not it's going to be effective or profitable in the long run. So you shouldn't be freaked out when you're trading. So again, guys, there's nothing here. I mean, listen, my model works when we have big down close and up close candles with big fair value gaps. If you look at this leg of price, there is nothing here. Zero fair value gaps are forming in this leg. Lots of wicks in this current leg of price. So nothing here is good enough for me. But if we look at the higher time frames, I still think that this whole leg of price is probably going to be reverted today. I think a lot of people are expecting this to end up being a bear flag or whatever you want to call it, to then go lower. But you have to understand, guys, we are in heavy discount of this whole range of price. Heavy discount. And we are likely to come up and retest these equal highs and this new week opening gap and potentially this buy side liquidity above us on the hourly. So I'm expecting to potentially have a bullish FOMC today because of this liquidity that we're seeing resting above us. So whether or not they give us continuation higher now, I don't know, but again, if a setup presents itself, I will take it. But if there is no setup, then I'm not going to be taking anything. I think the main move, I told you guys already, FOMC happens at 2 o'clock Eastern. So realistically, that's going to be when the real setup forms. So I'm probably going to be waiting for that. Like, you do not want to be entering price in this leg. Look at these candles. Yeah, they definitely are plotting. And normally they generate liquidity. So they're trying to basically induce traders to the upside or the downside. So like they induce traders down here. They're potentially inducing traders up here. And this is all generating liquidity. They're probably going to sweep this low during FOMC, and then if we're going to get an upside move, we'll get it. But you have to understand, guys, like if you buy or sell at any point during FOMC, you are likely to get stopped out. So they're trying to generate liquidity to the both sides of the market. What they'll probably end up doing is something like this. And again, I could be wrong. Again, I'm trying to draw a pathway, a general pathway, but I think this liquidity will get swept during FOMC. Maybe they get another sweep. They'll sweep buy side, maybe bring it back down, and then they'll sweep all the equal highs. So you have to be careful just buying and holding on a day like this because most liquidity gets swept, and then they'll deliver the move they need to deliver. So here's the order block. Again, I think likely we're going to sweep the low of the order block. Generate more liquidity. Ooh. 90% off 250Ks and 300, guys. Go take advantage of that if you want an Apex funded account. I don't have any discount codes. I don't really like to do them. Maybe I'll do them in the future, but for now, no. But you guys can use their discount code. What's the discount code, Atish? You can post it on the stream. Okay, so we came down and we almost swept the order block low. Only promo code PW. You just type in the letters PW, that's it. Apparently Patrick Whelan is making like millions of dollars off affiliate codes for Apex. Just bought an Apex 50K for $50. Aren't they? I mean, even if you get 80% off, isn't it like 39 or something? It's okay, guys. In the grand scheme of things, you have to think, what's $50 in the grand scheme of things? Even if you buy a few funded accounts, you're spending $200, $300, $400 over time. I mean, what's one payout is going to pay you everything you need. 250K for 18 bucks. That's awesome. Okay, so there is the order blocks low. Who knows where they deliver it now, but again, guys, no setups here. And yeah. Let's look at ES real quick. Okay, so ES is also taken out its order block here. We'll probably come back and trade to these levels as well, but definitely would not be taking or executing any trades to that. So what I'm probably going to do, guys, I'll stay on until the 11:50 macro. And then I'm going to get off of the live stream and I'm going to go to Discord. And then I'll basically just stay in chat with Discord until the live stream for FOMC. And then we'll start the private live stream at 1:45 Eastern. So I'll stay on for another hour or so. And then, yeah, we'll see where the market takes us, and then we'll go from there. Very strong wick on the hourly. That is interesting to note. I think that this is going to get taken out today. This wick right here. And then I think the equal highs are coming. But before then, we could easily get some manipulation. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep this low today, stop out people who are long, and then get the upside move later for FOMC. So I think FOMC, if anything is going to drive price back below this hourly low, it's going to be FOMC before we get an up move to the equal highs and then all the buy side above us and the equal highs here at 22.75. If we had an FOMC move up to here, just from the point we're at now, that's 460 points, give or take. That's pretty wild. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm looking at some other buy days here just to see if there's anything else that I'm seeing that could mimic today. Yeah, I mean, nothing that's really similar. But again, I told you guys, for FOMC days, if we have this kind of bullish early morning session, typically we get continuation. And that can either happen in the AM session or it can happen during FOMC. What is Bitcoin doing today? Bitcoin up to 84. Why is it? Hold on, guys. What is going on here? Let's pull it up from here. So Bitcoin is trading. I've showed you guys this many times, but a lot of people are freaking out like the end is near. I really think that what Bitcoin is doing here is just rebalancing its monthly fair value gap. I think it's also a 3-month. No, it's not. We have a 3-month order block here. We have a monthly fair value gap. We are testing the mean threshold of the order block. I mean, of the fair value gap, which is this green candle, the 50% of it. You can see the bodies are still holding this. So until the bodies close below this, not really a concern to me. And even if they do, I mean, we could literally just be coming down to retest the low of the monthly, then to go higher. I don't think this is the end of a bull run. I think people are freaking out over nothing. In fact, I'd rather see this fair value gap get filled relatively so that we can continue higher without getting big pullbacks. Because I think once this ends up closing back above the body of this monthly candle, then I think we're going to have a very strong rest of the year for Bitcoin. But we'll see. We are in a risk-off environment right now, obviously, with interest rates potentially, well, the 10-year treasury coming down and people flooding into bonds. But regardless, I think it's going to be good for Bitcoin in the future. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so 15-minute fair value gap has been filled. Why is this hourly low not showing up on my chart? Oh, there we go. Doesn't show up on the 15. That's so weird. Okay, so we're in another 5-minute bullish fair value gap here. Let's see if this ends up holding. How's the VIX doing today? Wow, guys, I am so, god damn it. I am so happy that we shorted the VIX. Did anybody else short the VIX when I told you guys to on live stream the other day? We shorted the VIX literally at 29 something. And I closed the position out. I've done partials on it, but these 2 days here, on Friday and Monday. I think it'll go lower, but we close these out for a really nice gain. I don't think anybody took them because nobody trades the VIX. Or y'all are scared. I don't know which one it is. So this 1 minute fair value gap actually looks pretty decent. We are delivering from a 5-minute fair value gap. We swept internal liquidity. So if this ends up closing above, I think there's a pretty good stop to break even here. But we'll see what happens. Wouldn't be surprised if we come back and test midnight and 8:30, then go up. But again, guys, my objective is up here today. Realistically, we're probably not going to get a setup until FOMC. And even during FOMC, if the price movements are way too erratic or sporadic, whatever you want to call them, then we might not even get an entry. But I think we should get something today. If you guys want to try and scalp an order up into this 1 minute fair value gap, be my guest. Not something that I would be taking, but probably going to fill at some point, at least touch into it. Especially if this liquidity sweeps and then we trade into here, it'll probably be a move back up into this IFEG. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And boom, there it is. So 5-minute fair value gap is still holding. If this closes above, I think this is a decent scalp up to this internal buy side. But if we end up rejecting here, obviously there'll be no entry. Do 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 do. Okay, so rejection from the fair value gap. Probably going to end up sweeping this low now. But we could go up first. I don't know. Again, this is not my model, nothing that I trade. But I'm just pointing out what will likely happen here. If this inverses to the upside, though, I think this is a decent scalp. You can do like a 1-for-1 trade. Where originally it would be a 1-for-1, and then you could hold it. So like, if this ends up sweeping, you could enter here or wait for a pullback and then target the internal buy side and then hold higher. All right, so another rebalance of the 1 minute here. What would I rate this setup out of 10? I'd give this a 5. There's no major liquidity sweep. I mean, we are delivering out of a 5-minute fair value gap, but this does not look good to me. There is a 2-minute as well. There is a 3-minute. No 5-minute fair value gap, but you'd really want to wait for the 1, 2, and 3 to get balanced before even considering this. But you can see that the 5, I mean, we closed below it slightly. So technically this is a short setup right now. But your stop loss would have to be a 5-minute close back above this fair value gap. So if you guys wanted to try this, I mean, you could. I think this is a better setup than the upside move because we did just get a close below the 5. Whoops. So your stop loss would be a 1-minute close back below, and you would target this low right here. So what's the thesis behind this again, guys? Just explaining. So we swept the new week opening gap here. We closed below the 5-minute bullish fair value gap, which signifies to me that we're probably going to target this low. But I would not just enter this 5-minute short. We're in super heavy discount of this range, so I wouldn't be shorting here unless we got an A+ setup where I could move my stop to break even quickly. So this would be the entry here if we close below the IFEG. Stop loss would be a close back above it, so it's a very tight stop. Your stop to break even is clean, which is right here, and then you could target the low. So this is a pretty good 3.3 to 1 RR trade. I gotta work on the lighting in this room, bro. It's so bad. What if I turn this off? Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so far we are potentially going to close above this 1, which means that this high is probably going to hit. But we'll see. Again, nothing here to me is A+, really. We're kind of in the middle of the range. We could go up or we could go down here, obviously. In any situation, that can be the case. But, like, when you're in the middle of a range, it's very tough. I prefer to see, like, external liquidity get swept. For example, this low, or even low of day. That's where the best moves occur. 2-minute fair value gap is being held. 3-minute fair value gap is being held to the downside. So not a place that I want to be in a trade, personally. Okay, so the 1 minute closed above. Is this a good reason to take a long here? In my opinion, no. 2 minute closed above, 3 minute closed above. So if you guys want, you can take a long here and scalp this internal high. I'm not going to. It's not good enough for me, but you guys can if you want. Okay, so there is an internal high that got swept there, or came close, but did not hit. All right, there's the high. One minute for going to LRLR. Yeah, so you guys see how it's tough to short and discount here? We close below the 5. So again, I said I wouldn't just blindly short. I'd want to see a bearish 1 minute or a bullish 1 minute fair value gap get violated. So if these candles went to the downside and closed below, that would be an entry for a short because you have an immediate stop to break even and a target. But just blindly shorting a 5 like this is not smart in my opinion. But also this long, in my opinion, was not smart either. We're in the middle of a range. It's just very tough to take these trades. There's also a 1 minute fair value gap that is acting as a target here. So we could reject from here. I don't know. We do have LRLR above, so K is right. We could be going for these, but not a good spot to be longing or shorting, in my opinion. Did anybody take this 1, 2, and 3 minute IFEG to the upside? Was there an SMT with ES? No, both made a higher low. Wow, this is a very, very bullish reaction. Very surprised. Evan Lucas, how does the what is the FCOM? Are you talking about the FOMC? I think you just typed it wrong. So I know that FOMC typically is a manipulation event, or before FOMC is a manipulation event, and during is as well. But I typically don't take any trades before FOMC unless the setup is way too good to ignore. And this to me was not a plus enough to take before FOMC. So I normally size down heavily before if I do take a trade, and if I don't take a trade before, I just wait for FOMC, which is at 145. So I really hope they save these equal highs and the buy side for FOMC. I think regardless, these are going to hit today, but I would not be longing this straight shot of green candles. But for those of you guys who are wondering what this setup is, again, I'll explain it again. We're delivering from a bullish 5-minute fair value gap, but we closed below it. So to me, that signified that we could potentially be bearish here. Did not want to short this unless I got another setup within the 5-minute fair value gap. And you can see here, this was the setup I was looking for. We never got the close back below this fair value gap, making it an inverse. We just continued up. And what ended up happening is we closed above the bullish 1-minute fair value gap. That was the entry right there. Also on the 2-minute, we closed above on this candle. On the 3-minute, we closed above on this candle. That was the entry. And your target on this should still be higher, but you should definitely be partialing here if you're in this. Partialing at this high and then partialing at this high if we get to high of day today, and then targeting the buy side and equal highs for runners. But the odds of us getting a continuation leg before FOMC here all the way up are slim. So I doubt this is going to go all the way up here. We'll probably get more retracements, but I could be wrong. So that's the explanation behind the long that just occurred in the 1150 macro. So I'm going to be on, guys, again until this, sorry, the end of the 1050? Or the 1110 macro, my apologies. And then I'm going to be on until the 1150 macro, and then I'll get off, and then I'll live stream in the Discord when we're done with that. So ES is close to taking out its LRLR here. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up pumping through it. Actually, they're both in the same spot. Never mind. Tesla, the top performer of all the Mag 7. This is all not the Mag 7 guys, but just nonetheless, it's close to most of it. It's just another few extra stocks that I include in my watch list. So what I would do if I were you guys, we'll see how long I stay on for. This is getting kind of boring, but what I would pay attention to here, if you guys are looking for setups and you're bullish today like I am to all these highs, I would pay attention to internal lows that are pretty obvious. For example, these two lows right here, I would not be surprised if we end up getting a major sweep of these lows. This is all liquidity being generated to the upside. We need to sweep it before going higher. So pay attention to these lows, pay attention to this low, even pay attention to the lows that formed in the morning. I think all of this is going to get swept before an upside move. Could be wrong, but most of the time that's what they do during FOMC. Especially if they want to have a bullish move to the upside, they need to sweep liquidity before getting the setup. Is there an SMT here? No, there is not. So what do you guys think? For those of you who are on here, do you want me to stay on until the 11:50 macro, or should I end it here and we'll go in the live stream? We'll go in Discord later. I need at least 5 responses if you guys want me to stay on. If I get 5 ones in the chat, I'll stay on until the 11:50 macro. If I don't, then we will end it here and I'll go live in the Discord at 1:45. Rachel, stay. Chulo, take a break and come back later. Okay, so far we're 50-50. I need 4 more yeses to stay in the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, we'll take a break and I'll get back on in Discord at 1:45 Eastern. Evan says take a break. All right, so it's one yes, 2 no's. All right, I'll go to Discord. That's 3 no's and 1 yes. I'm only in DC for CS2. I'm only in Discord chat for... I have no idea what that means, Rachel. Sorry, I don't know the the shortcuts. Okay, guys, we got 1 minute left. I need 4 more yeses if I'm going to stay on here. Counter-Strike 2. Sorry, Rachel. We got 30 more seconds. I need 4 more yeses to stay in the stream. Somebody's got to hire some bots to say yes in the chat, or we're going to leave. Five seconds left. All right, guys, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. I will not be live streaming on YouTube again today. You guys can... There's a free 3-day trial if you want to be in the Discord. You can join, but you don't have to, obviously. We will live stream the Discord. Stay tuned at 1:45 Eastern, guys. So that's in less than 3 hours. All right, guys, have a good one, and I hope to see you guys in the Discord. Peace out.